Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing a good old-fashioned ranking video. So a lot of times, I always want to do these types of videos, but there's not a whole lot of brands in my collection where I have a ton of palettes from one brand. So I can't do it that often, but today I am going to be doing it with my NOMAD Cosmetics palettes. NOMAD eyeshadows are some of my absolute favorite formulas in the entire world. Every time they come out with a new palette, I'm like, no, this is the best one. No, wait, this is the best one. So I decided it was time for a ranking. Now, here is the one caveat I want to give before I do this ranking, okay? Everything that is currently in my collection, I genuinely love. I was going to say, are there some that I just am okay with, blah, blah, blah. No, I love these palettes. I have already decluttered some palettes that just weren't for me at this point. I think I decluttered the Verona one, that two-sided one. I decluttered there was one Christmas palette, and the other one was Paradise Islands, I think it was. Absolutely beautiful, but the thing is I just wasn't using them a whole lot, and it's not like they were ones where I instantly swooned over them. So if it is not in this ranking, it's just because it's one that didn't really speak to me, so I've already gotten rid of it. I've already given it to friends and family. So the ones that are here, I love, which means this ranking was incredibly difficult for me, okay? I have 11 palettes. I'm going to rank them from worst to best. I hate using the word worst because even the number 11 palette, I absolutely adore. So let's jump right into it with number 11. At number 11, we have the Nomad Air Canadian Rockies palette. This is so freaking pretty. Even this color, Mountain Calling, I love it. It's such a unique color because it's kind of teal, it's kind of forest green, it's just got a lot going on. Oh my God, the cats are attacking each other right next to me. I had to put in that clip so you can see what's going on right off screen. But yeah, anyway, the Canadian Rockies palette, I still really love it. I love this cool toned color story, but it's not too cool toned where I don't know what to do with it. I just really, really love this one. It's so beautiful. The reason I ranked it at number 11 is just because I usually favor, it's so funny. I'm like the Goldilocks of eyeshadow palettes. I don't want it to be too big. A 30-pan palette is just not for me anymore. But a 6-pan palette, I'm like, there's only so many looks you can do with it. So I'm the Goldilocks somewhere in between. But I really, really do like this one still. I am going to continue to keep it. I'm going to continue to play with it. But yeah, the Canadian Rockies is number 11. They are wrestling so hard right now. I know I should shut the door, but guys, honestly, seeing my kittens love each other and wrestle with each other just makes me so damn happy that I can't kick them out. At number 10, we have the Monteverde Cloud Farce. It was very hard for me to rank this one number 10. But again, when I'm looking at these, I want to see the ones that bring me the most joy, or the ones I've played with often, or the ones that are unique to my collection. There were so many different categories going on in my head. And this one is so beautiful. But if I'm being honest with myself, I don't use neons a whole lot. And there really are several neons in here. But the colors that stand out for me in this palette just really stand out. I think that this is such a beautiful take on a tropical rainbow, right? I think it's just so beautiful. I do love this toucan color, which it's so hard to show on camera, but it is a neon yellow. And this is the one, Hanging Bridges is the one I have the biggest dent in, which is a beautiful kind of gold green. And Green Mountain also down here is that kind of again, that dark, almost emerald green teal kind of color. And just, there's so many beautiful colors in this palette, but it had to be ranked somewhere. So this is number 10. I was going to say this is where the list started getting hard because I'm at number 9 now, but to be honest, even 10 and 11 were difficult. This is one for number 9, and I kind of struggled with this one, but I am going to explain. It is the brand new Keys Beachy and Peachy palette. The reason that I have it at number 9 is because I have only gotten the chance to play with this 2 or 3 times because it just came out. So it's beautiful. I love these kind of, I don't want to say muted tones, tones, but these kind of more chill vibes, right? Like this is a chill palette. This is chill tropical, right? Monteverde Cloud Forest is like crazy toucan macaw tropical. This is like you have a daiquiri on the beach kind of tropical, and you're sitting there reading some like, you know, what is it? Friends to enemies to friends, enemies to lovers. What's that trope? One of those types of books by like Abby Jimenez or something like that. But anyway, this is so lovely. And when I played with this in my video that I did on this palette, I was so impressed that I was able to just create two very drastically different looks. Obviously, there's a million drastically different looks you can create with this palette, but I love that I was able to create like these two that were so different from each other. One was like peachy and warm and like just fiery, and the other one was like chill and blue. And I love this color story. Again, the only reason it's at number 9 is because it just came out. So I would feel weird being like, this is the #1 palette ever, because it just came out. So yes, the Keys Beachy and Peachy palette is number 9. At number 8, we have another one of the Nomad Air 6-pan palettes, and this time we are traveling to Oslo. I really enjoyed this more than I thought I would. I really did, because again, I enjoy cool tones, I do, but this is just very cool toned and very neutral. If I'm going neutral, I usually immediately dart towards like warm neutrals, like fiery bronzes and things like that. So this one surprised me in a very pleasant way. I've really enjoyed this. And this color, which is Nordic Cool, is so unique to my collection personally. It is like gray, but with a slight like blue tinge, but it is just a very, very cool toned sparkly color, and it is lovely. The quality of these little palettes is so damn good. Like I say this every time that I feel like the Nomad Air palettes are very underrated. I think that these are a great quality, and if you have a friend in your life who maybe has fun with makeup but isn't necessarily looking to build a huge, massive collection, I feel like these make fantastic gifts. There's usually some sort of bundle deal with a bunch of these too, so you could give like one to each friend. But anyway, I really enjoyed Oslo. This is one that surprised me, but yeah, Oslo is what, number 8. And right above Oslo at number 7, we have the Abu Dhabi palette. Now this is what I call Linda bait. This is warm toned, bronzy neutrals, and I love it. I have used the hell out of this palette. I don't know how much you're able to tell because the imprints, they're pretty deep on these palettes, which is kind of cool because the imprints still show. But yeah, I've used the absolute ever-loving hell out of this palette. This is like something that I would probably take on vacation with me or something like that. I would probably take one colorful palette and maybe this, because this is something that I could wear every single day. Now, it seems like so funny to me that I'm like, I could wear this every single day, but it's all the way at number 7. But it's probably because this is beautiful. But do I have this color story technically in other palettes? I do. I do have bronzes. I do have neutral, warm neutrals in other palettes as well. So, I mean, this one is beautiful. You can pry this out of my cold, dead hands. But I did rank it just at number 7 just because, yeah, I do have this in other palettes. So, number 7 is Abu Dhabi. And at number 6, we have the final and first Nomad Air palette, and that is just, I believe, just called Nomad Air. This palette, okay, this surprised the hell out of me, which is a big reason that I absolutely love it, because when I first got this was the first like really neutral thing I had ever seen come from Nomad, right? I'm used to their very bright colors. I'm used to their intense foiled shimmers. And then we've got this little neutral buddy. And I can't even tell you how many times I've used this since I've gotten it. The dents in here are so big. This color, Let's Take Off, which probably most people would consider to be like the most boring color in all the kingdom, is one of my favorite colors in all the kingdom. It is such an easy color for me to use like every single day. I have used this palette so much. This is a palette I've taken on vacation. This is a palette that I've taken for touch-ups when I go like out somewhere at night. I love this one. This is one that I recommend to literally everyone, because let's say you're not a bright color wearer, you will love this for the neutrals. Let's say you love neutrals, this will probably be a step up quality wise from like what a lot of people have. I love this palette. I love it. I love it. So yeah, Nomad Air, the original, is number 6. know your thoughts. But number 5, gosh, this part really, really was difficult, is the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. And the reason that these are so difficult for me once I get to this point is that when I say I love all of this top 5, I mean like these are some of the favorite palettes in my whole collection, not just in my Nomad collection, in my collection. This palette specifically speaks to my very soul. I feel like with Ireland, you could have just done like real boring greens. They went every shade of green in here, but these touches of warm golds and browns, and then this like bright yellow over here, and these deep kind of purpley blues. I feel like the color story is so good on this. Like it warms my heart how good this color story is. It is so beautiful. I was going to say, like, I usually have been pointing out, like, oh, I really like this color. I have dents in so many of these already, and this just came out this year. I love this palette. I'm already honestly doing my thing where I, like, regret the order I've put it in, but we're going to stick with it. But this palette, look at it. Look at, should this be, like, number 1? Should this be, I love this palette, but we're gonna keep it at 5 for now. I think this is the Wild Atlantic Way, the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. I do hate touching this. Maybe that's why it's number 5. I hate touching crushed velvet so much. At number 4, we have another Nomad palette that came out this year, and this is New Zealand Stargazing. This is another palette where I looked at it when I first got it. I was like, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. And then when I tried it, I was just swooning over it. Look how beautiful this color story is. Like this to me speaks nebula. Like the colors that are on the front here, they did such a good job of incorporating that into a palette color story that I literally, every time I wear this, I feel like I have a galaxy on my face. Okay. And that's what I really want in life. But I love, like the shimmers in here, the metallics are next level. They are foiled, they are duochromes, they are multi-chromes, and I feel like the mattes they chose complement it so well. I'm so happy that we have some lighter mattes in here because I personally like that in a palette that I can blend colors out with, that I can put into the crease, but you also have some very deep colors, including a beautiful black matte, which I don't know, have they ever done a black matte before? And I'm just not thinking of it. Either way, I absolutely love this palette. I've played with this more than I ever thought I would. More than I ever thought I would. And it's just so much fun. It is so pretty. So yeah, New Zealand Stargazing, number 4. And now we are getting into the top 3. So we're in the top 3, like I said. And at number 3, we have Royal Europe. This palette, oh my God, I want to lick it. I love this. This is to me the perfect jewel toned palette. Okay. You have just, again, these beautiful jewel tones, but at the bottom here, first of all, you can do color stories like this down vertically, but these multi-chromes at the bottom are shifty and foiled and metallic and just perfect. I don't know another word for it. They are some of the most perfect, beautiful, shimmery multi-chromes in my collection. I think they did such a good job with these. Like, look at this bottom one, okay? You've got purple and it goes to a bright blue, okay? This one over here, right? You've got green and then it is gold. I'm trying to capture the teal aspect of it because it goes very teal at some points. There you go. There's some of the teal. And this one right here is like a deep dark purple and then it's blue and just, they're so intense. They're so intense. I don't know how Nomad did it. I do know that I believe this palette was a little more expensive than some of the other palettes, but it's because of the quality, especially of this bottom row. So yeah, number 3, Royal Europe. Whew, top 2. I am literally sweating because I'm not nervous. Nervous isn't the word, but it's more just like a matter of I didn't know how to rank these. I was so struggling, but at the end of the day, it eventually did kind of become clear for me, obviously. And number 2, we have Okavango Safari. Now, again, what I will say about this is I feel like a lot of people weren't super into this palette because it was more neutral colors. But I think that this is like a neutral palette of my dreams because yes, you do have these warm bronzes, you do have browns, you have the tans, but you also have a baby puke yellowy mustard color, which is my dream. You have like a lime. You have these colors, which you see the zebra stripes on there, but when you swatch it, it is the most metallic silver ever. And I want to say the other one, yep, so the other one has, it's hard to see on camera, but it has tiger stripes, and this makes the most metallic gold. I think they did such a good job with this, and this has been another palette I have used to death already and will continue to use. The quality is so good. Like, even I have to show you, okay, look, you see the gold and silver here? I just wiped this off on a towel. I have a towel that's right down here. I wiped it off and they're still there because the quality of this one is brilliant. It is so, so, so good, and just, I don't know. I look at this palette and I get all warm and fuzzy inside because this is neutrals done right, in my opinion. I love that they still stuck to neutrals, but it feels like a safari to me, right? Does it not feel like a safari to you? I love it. But something had to be number one, and I'm sure a lot of you have guessed it by now because you've gotten to this point, and for me, that is Ghost Town. And I need to explain why Ghost Town is the one for me, number one, because I've just talked about how much I love warm, bronzy neutrals and, like, you know, just beautiful gold shades. And this has none of that. And that's why I love it. This palette forced me to get out of my comfort zone. Okay, my comfort zone is bronzy brown neutrals. This forced me out of that comfort zone, and I had so much fun playing with this when I first got it, and since then, every time I open this, I've done something different, okay? With a lot of palettes, if I find a color story I like, I go back and I do it again and again. This one has inspired me to be creative time and time again, and this is so beautiful. I know a lot of you agree with me too, because I feel like every time I talk about Nomad, someone in the comment mentions Ghost Town. Someone there is like, okay, that's the perfect palette. That's the palette I've been saving up for. If you don't have, like, I was going to say, if you don't have a palette like this in your collection, you should get it. I don't know that there are palettes that are like this. This is, yes, it's cool toned, but it's just such a dreamy color story. It's not dusty. The colors are all like pigmented and beautiful. The shimmers are foiled and lovely. This is the best palette Nomad has ever come out with, in my opinion. In my opinion. And it is just, it is stunning. So out of the 11 Nomad palettes in my collection, Ghost Town has taken the number one spot. Now, a few things. First of all, I do have a code with Nomad. It is Glitter Fallout. So if you're looking to pick up any Nomad palettes, you can use my code to get some money off. That is an affiliate code. So if you decide to use it, thank you so much, because that does help to support my channel. But I also want you to comment down below and tell me your favorite Nomad palette. If you've tried them, even if you have one Nomad palette, tell me what it is, because I feel like it speaks volumes, even if you only have one, because that's the one you invested your money in. So I want to know, what is your favorite? Also, have you tried any that you felt like were a disappointment to you? Were there any that just didn't vibe with you? And only if you've tried it, because, you know, looking at a color story, you can be like, that's ugly. But if you haven't tried it, you never really know. So let me know which ones you've tried and maybe haven't been for you. But that's it. If you want more ranking videos, also let me know that down below. But if you liked this video, I would love if you give it a thumbs up. That helps out my channel so much. You all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all Glitter Fallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. I love you so much with my whole heart and everything that's inside of me. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.